look, since the turn of the year anyway, and certainly what we did in January, in terms of going forward, the goal threat, we were far, far better than we were. And we have to improve defensively a little bit, hence the couple of new signings that have walked through the door. We've had a busy summer so far. I'm delighted with what we've done. We've still got a long way to go before we're finished and for the season. We've still got 4 or 5 to maybe look at. So yeah, exciting times ahead. The more time you get as a manager, the more they get to know you, the more they get to know what we're trying to achieve. So yeah, but look, I'm delighted with what we've done so far. I was delighted the way we played the back 6 months of the season, thereabouts. So let's try and improve. That's the key to it. To try and improve and see if we can get better.
Obviously, you can point to the downsides of coming in without a pre-season last year, but it did give you an opportunity to get to know the club, get to know the players, and obviously for you to stamp your authority on things. So is it a positive at this point now?
Look, we've made a huge change. Look, all us managers are different. We all play in a certain way. I think the team understands now the way we want to play, how we go about it, which is totally opposite to probably what the team was before I arrived. And that's what it's saying. It takes time to implement change and the ideas of what you want. The longer you got at it, more transfer windows you've got at, then hopefully results will improve and get better. I think I've spoke to David and Dean probably every day. There's been a lot of work that's gone on, especially with them too, to get the 4 or 5 that we've got over the line. As I said, I couldn't be more pleased with what we've done to get back Niall and make him permanent. George Honeyman, I believe, is going to be a big favourite. He already is amongst the players and the staff here. He's only been here a week. And the 2 centre-halves do exactly what it says on the tin. So I'm delighted that we've been able to act. The goalkeeper's come in too. So, we've been quite busy in that department. It still hasn't finished yet.
Yeah, 5 signings in the first month. It's a good solid start, isn't it? You can't ask for too much more than that at this age.
No, and I have to tell you, they're all were first choices of what we want. We've had to work hard. We've had to beat off a few teams because the competition has been huge for a lot of them. They've all been obviously in that list of Bosman or free transfers or whatever you want to call them. When they're like that and you're up against it because other teams and other clubs have got big ambitions too. So to beat them off, I was delighted we've done it.
You said maybe up to 5 more before the season even starts, so it shows just how much you sort of want to shape things into your vision.
Yeah. I mean, look, all credit to the owner too. His ambitions have always been he wants to take the club up and around the championship. So, we've fair play to him. That's what he wants. So we've got to give us a healthy budget to go and try and achieve it. So we've got to put that into practice and see what we can do. It's difficult because there's a lot of other good teams in it. So, but I'm delighted with what we've done so far.
Yeah, do you feel firmly backed in terms of your vision and the owner's vision aligning?
Yeah. I think it's vitally important that the people who you work for, when you're in my position, with David, and Dean and the owner, and everybody around the club, it's a smashing club and a healthy environment to be around. And what we've got to do now is put a squad of players together, get them together quickly and as quick as we can, and get them up and running and knocked into shape a bit, and get ready for what's going to be hopefully a good season.
We'll go through the signings. Obviously, the 2 defensive lads came in first. Last year it was probably quite a young defence. Obviously, Ollie was one of the more senior ones when you had the 2 young Vaughanese. So you've gone for obviously senior players.
For experience, I think in defensive areas, it's good to have experience. I think we were sometimes maybe a little bit too young. When you get young loan players in, the one thing they're going to make is they're going to make mistakes. They're learning the job. I have to say that Adele did fantastically well, and young Harry from Everton did. You've seen them develop over the season and how they've progressed. I just think this year we needed a bit of experience, a bit of know-how, a bit of guile, and we've got that in abundance with the two of them. The two of them are real good players at this level.
Obviously, does that close the door on more defensive issues? I know you was open to getting helping back if you could.
I think we have to look at the right back situation. You know, young Irish lads just getting over a serious knee injury. You know, so we are going to have to look at that. And as I said, we're going to look all throughout the squad, and hopefully by the end of it, have a squad capable and strong enough and big enough and good enough to get where we want to get to.
Yeah, I think we're important to give Andy some good competition. Obviously, you had Odell, who's gone back to his parent club, and Jordan Gabriel's left, so it's open in that position at the moment.
Yeah, it's open. Of course, it's open in that position. We hope Andy stays well. That's the key to it. You know, him staying well. He deserves a bit of luck, the kid. There's nobody worked harder than him. He got on 20 minutes of the last game. He's had all summer where he's worked hard on his fitness. So, touch wood. Let's hope he stays well.
You mentioned George Winniman has obviously become popular already. To get a player who played 40 games in the Championship last year must be a real boost that he wants to step down. And
yeah. I mean, we're disappointed that we've lost Sonny, and but we've got a really good replacement in George, who has played practically all his career in the Championship. So, known him for a long time as a player. He's a manager's delight. You know, he can play in 2-3 positions. Infectious enthusiasm, really good type to have around the group.
And he spoke fondly of you and the club, saying obviously you made him feel wanted, you made it an easy decision.
Well, we worked hard. That's our job. Work hard away from it. Made a few calls to him when interrupted his honeymoon, when he was in Tanzania or wherever he was, just to remind him how much we wanted him. So, we've probably made a pest of myself really over the summer with a few of them, but that's my job to make that call once the other lads have done all the groundwork, is to make the call from the manager, tell them how we're going to go about it, how we're going to play, and what we expect and what we demand. And thankfully it's worked well at the moment. Still a lot to do. Look, you identify the targets that you want to identify, and then you try and go about your work, especially in the market of the free transfer market. Then you have to act quick and you have to be decisive, and that's one thing we do. We've got, you know, the 4 lads and the goalkeeper. We're choices of frees. There's still 1 or 2 that we're persevering. We'll see what happens in the next week or so.
How good is it to have Niall back? Obviously, you knew he was available quite early on. Stoke made it clear he was available, but to be able to get it over the line.
It's I think with Niall, we were certainly an improvement when he was in the team. We were a threat. He brought that goal scorer. He only interested and wants to score a goal. And towards the finish, him and Fletcher were a handful and a half, where they were excellent together. So it was important to bring him back. He looks in really good nick. He's had a really good summer in that response. He's due a little bit of luck too with his knee injury, but he's fine. He's had a really good pre-season so far. So far so good.
Are you still in the market for another striker? I know you spotted watching Sam Dalby when he was up in Scotland at one point. I know he's gone elsewhere, but
I went up to watch. Well, I'm not going to mention names, I think that would be wrong, but I went up to Scotland to watch a couple of players. It didn't work out, but that's football.
Is it going to be good to obviously got Niall, you got Tom Bloxham, you got Fletch, you got Karassi's come back, but to get another striker in there, obviously Hospice last week as well.
Yeah. I still think we need a little. We need one more, at least one more in that department. So that's somebody who we're on the lookout for.
Do you feel a bit deja vu with wingers? Obviously, you had Sammy Silvera came in, but obviously only on loan. And then obviously Sonny's left, he played on the wings. Tom Bloxham's obviously a winger, but you like him up front. So do you feel like we're back where we started on wingers, where it's just Apton and Hampton?
Apton and CJ, but we've got off to a great start. We've got good wide players. They're good wide players. We'd probably need a bit of competition for them, and that's something that we will look at. And you're right, Bloxham was bought as a wide player who can go down the middle too. So him getting injured, he had a wonderful start, if you remember. Him getting injured was a big blow to us, but he's had a good pre-season so far, and he's up and ready to go.
Was it a relief to get a goalkeeper in? Obviously, people probably were looking for him going to go to Spain next week. Who's going to go in goal?
Well, look, we've got two young lads who can always go and goal too. So we still could have adapted, but he's been something that we've been looking at training for the best part of 3-4 weeks. The big thing for the goalkeeper was he going to stay in Argentina or was he going to come back to England? Thankfully, he's come back to England, and delighted to have got him.
He's someone who's used to being a first choice as
Yeah,
well.
yeah, he's been first choice at Wickham and did very, very well, where he impressed a lot of people.
Does that close the door on a potential return for Harry Tyrone?
No, I still think we need another goalkeeper, that's for sure. We've decided this year that rather than have a number one, we're going to try and have two goalkeepers who are going to slug it out, if you like, a bit like the rest of the team. Where you have competition, in each and every position, and that's hopefully going to bring out the best in people.
You mentioned obviously Sonny Curley before. How disappointing was it? Obviously, you said it was a handsome offer back in May, but for him to eventually go elsewhere, how hard was that?
Look, you can understand people want to play in a high level. I'm disappointed that we've lost him because he was just starting to show the sparkle that we all know he's got. And certainly for that 3-4 months towards the end of the season, I don't think there was a better player in Division 1 than Sonny. I wish him all the best. He did great for me. I know in some of the time before me it didn't quite happen for him, but as far as I'm concerned, he was excellent for us and produced some stunning displays towards the end, which got everybody off the seat.
Victim of your own success in a way.
Yeah.
You got best out of him.
Yeah, he's too good.
Was he always going to leave? Was you always certain? Was it?
No, I think we were up until, I think because he was enjoying his football so much that he wanted it to continue. Obviously the lure of playing in the division above us was probably the outstanding factor for it. But we did everything we possibly could to try and keep hold of him. Unfortunately, it didn't quite happen.
And Matthew Pennington was another one you hinted you'd like to have around the place still, but he's gone to.
Yeah. I wish Penno the best of luck. Great pro, great lad. He wants to play week in and week out. It's something which I couldn't give him. So another wonderful servant and a great pro and a great lad, and he deserves to have a long and lengthy career.
Is that hard as a manager? You see someone you like them around the place, but you can't make them what they want.
Yeah, of course. It's the part of management all through it, where you manage these lads and you help them along the way, and you see them progress and grow up, and have families and all the rest of it. I've only worked with Penno for 6 months, but as I said, as a pro and a great lad, you don't get many as good like him. So he'd be sadly missed too.
And shrewd business with Jake Beasley, obviously.
Yeah, Beasley's another one where I couldn't give him what he wanted, which he wants to play regular and be the main man somewhere. I wish Bees the best of luck. He's another one. We're blessed at the club to have some really, really outstanding professionals, really, and it's always difficult to say goodbye to them. But I wish him the best of luck, Bees, and all of them the best of luck in their future career.
Obviously, you said it was your first pre-season with Blackpool. It was your first pre-season with any club for a good few years. So you enjoyed being back, sort of in this environment.
Yeah. Well, look, you can control the stuff that you're working with, and of course, over the next 4, 5, 6 weeks, we can start to encourage the pattern of play and how we're going to play and all the rest of it. But towards the end, and the back end of the season in particular, I was delighted with some of the football we played. There's not many people who scored more goals than us. I think you can do your homework on it. I think there's maybe only Leeds maybe scored more goals than us in the second part of the season. So I was delighted in that respect. We had to be better defensively. That's what we've got to work on. That's what we've tried to invest in, and let's hope that works.
And also speaking to the new signings, they said we want to aim as high as possible. I'm guessing that's comes from you.
I said it from day one that I mirror what the owner wants. He wants his team to play in a certain way, what gets the supporters off their seats a little bit, and also though he wants to get out of the division, which is the reason why I'm here. Let's have a really good team, what we enjoy watching play, and let's see what we can do in the division and see if we can make a fist of it and get where we want to get to.